Wait a minute. Did gold just signal a massive 400% rise in Bitcoin's price could be on the horizon? We have a big one today, and it's been a bad morning for status. The Pope just died, Klaus Schwab stepped down, and Jerome Powell might be next. Trump just called him a major loser and said, "He who has the gold makes the rules." Well, Bitcoin has no counterparty risk, and gold just hit all-time highs. History tells us a massive Bitcoin move is coming. So if gold's making the rules, Bitcoin's about to break them. And we know who really makes the rules, don't we?
I make the laws. He who has the Bitcoin makes the laws, Rand. We're not going to just sit around and let the goddamn congressman tell us what to do. We've got the capital. We make the laws. We've got the Bitcoin. They don't. We got it. They don't. Do you understand?
Are we witnessing the biggest monetary shift of our lifetime? You bet your ass we are. Welcome back, I'm Rustin, and we have some insanely bullish news to get to. Send it! All right, now let's hit some of the biggest stories. Boom! Gold just smashed through 33.80 and hit another all-time high. Bitcoin is showing real signs of decoupling from risk assets. The dollar index just dropped to a 3-year low. JP Morgan just said that they are tactically bearish on US stocks, whatever that means. Trump wants Powell fired. And South Korea is openly discussing a national Bitcoin reserve. And not to mention news out of Russia and China, the Bitcoin hash war is accelerating. I don't know, guys. I'm seeing signs of this.
Bitcoin up almost 3.5% as well. For more on this, I'm already talking to you and I haven't introduced you. Let's bring in Tom Lee, head of research at Fundstrat, chief investment officer at Fundstrat Capital, as well as a CNBC contributor. And I don't remember whether it was you or Pump when we were talking about Bitcoin sort of stuck under 85,000 with gold going up every day. And it was either you or Pump that said Bitcoin usually follows a couple of months later, but has a much bigger move.
That was probably Pump.
Probably, yeah. He's pretty bullish.
Yes.
Have you noticed anything similar to that? I mean, that's a pretty big move. And you know, in the past, gold's been leaving in the past near term, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. This year, maybe. We have seen gold leave Bitcoin in the dust and go to new highs. Looks like it'll do 4,000 easily, right? Do you think Bitcoin eventually catches some of the same money, the same bid?
Yeah, I think Bitcoin earlier this year may have been struggling with some of the deleveraging that was happening for institutional investors.
Just selling what they could.
Yeah, selling what they could, and I think that suppressed Bitcoin, especially over weekends. But now that deleveraging is done, I think that Bitcoin is going to catch up to gold, and Bitcoin's old high was over 110,000. So I think there is a lot of room to catch up as a sort of non-dollar asset.
As for the equity markets, you think stocks are attractive, but uncertainty is still the name of the game, and it's going to persist. You think the high in the VIX, what did you say that was on April 7th, that holds?
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to match that level of fear again. So I think we're probably past peak uncertainty. I mean, even with this Fed controversy, but I don't know if we're past maximum pain. I think that there's still risk that the economic consequences are going to cause markets to be hesitant, but it's going to be hard to match that fear again. So I think a structural low did take place.
Oh, it's not just going to catch up. But now let's ask the big question. Is Bitcoin decoupling? Well, look at this. Here's Bitcoin versus the NASDAQ. Now Bitcoin versus US equities. Bitcoin versus the dollar. I don't know. But if you ask me, it's starting to move like macro insurance, not just tech speculation.
Let me put it this way. I'm standing in front of a burning house, and I'm offering you fire insurance on it.
And I think Jack Mallers sees it too. Now, we've played this before, but it hits a little different now. Check it out.
And this is why Bitcoin will decouple, because Bitcoin isn't priced on earnings. And if countries are looking for something to own, you're going to want scarce reserve assets. Long gold, long Bitcoin. Easy. So people don't understand what we're living through. And I'm looking on the internet and everyone's freaking out. And my message to my audience and to the Bitcoiners is just relax. You got to breathe, calm down, understand what you own, understand what we're living through right now. Let the stock market puke and figure itself out. And by the way, is it over? No. What are we living through right now? We're trying. I'm literally on Wall Street having meetings with Wall Street people. This city is full of a bunch of over-levered, pompous hedge fund assholes. These guys, I mean, the stock market's down like 4%. These guys are begging and pleading and screaming for a bailout. Give me a break. Everyone wants a relief rally. We're now at the phase where everyone's like, oh, you hear that? Oh my God, Trump said that he's open to negotiations. Trump said he might walk back what he said. And no one's actually pricing in the fact that Trump means business. Whether you like it or not, Trump wants to help the poor American. Trump wants to create factory jobs. Trump wants to produce stuff here. Trump wants to fix the deficit problem. That's until I see otherwise, Trump is about business. Trump is keeping his promises. Whether you like it or not, this is not a political podcast. I'm just calling it how I see it. And you've got a bunch of over-levered people here in New York that are just losing their mind. Listen, it is what it is. And this is so bullish for Bitcoin. They're going to have to print so much money. Bitcoin is really priced with how much fiat currency is sloshing around in the world. And in order for all of this to play out and work, we have to debase our currency. We have to devalue our debt, and we have to create more fiat. It's going to send Bitcoin nuclear.
This could be it, the Great Decoupling, or what some are now calling the Great Learning. The moment when the average investor finally understands what we've been screaming for years, that Bitcoin is the escape hatch. Things are about to get stupidly bullish. Now let's break down this post from R89 Capital. They say gold's latest breakout is flashing a 400% pump signal, but not for gold, for Bitcoin. Sounds wild. Well, I did a little digging and it's more bullish than the normie mind can comprehend. So let's run it. Gold and Bitcoin are now correlated safe havens. Central banks stack gold and Bitcoin reserves are going global. The thing is, Bitcoin is the younger, faster digital version, and it historically amplifies gold's moves. Check this out. In 2020, gold went up 15%. Bitcoin, well, it went up 690%. That's a 45x multiple in terms of performance. So if gold is up 20 to 30%, well, yeah, needless to say, a 400% Bitcoin rally is absolutely in play. And historical math checks out. We are 12 months past the halving. And look what happens after the 12-month mark. In 2012, Bitcoin rose 8,698%. In 2016, Bitcoin rose 2,515%. And in 2020, 644%. This is the window. This is where Bitcoin melts faces. Zoom out and look around. We got central banks turning to gold, U.S. debt ballooning, the dollar cracking, and long-term treasuries are collapsing. Global trade is shifting towards hard assets. And what does Trump say? He who has the gold makes the rules. Except Bitcoin's better than gold. No storage fees, no counterparty risk, and now it's institutionally approved.
If you're frightened of your debasement of your currency, or you're frightened of your economic or political stability of your country, you could have an internationally based instrument called Bitcoin that will overcome those local fears. And so I'm a big believer in the utilization of that as an instrument. And so if that becomes true, and you see that it could be a proper hedge against maybe hope security or equities.
Yeah.
The question is, could you see a 2 or 5% allocation? I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 per Bitcoin.
Larry Fink is more bullish than you. This is where we are in the story. MicroStrategy just bought 6,556 more Bitcoin. Trump is attacking Powell. And South Korea is urging a national Bitcoin reserve. This isn't fringe anymore. This is a new monetary order. And if you think 88K Bitcoin is expensive, you better think again. But before we bring it home today, look at our likes.
3 or 4 times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors powering this show over at the Bitcoin Way. You're watching the collapse of the fiat illusion in real time. Don't get caught holding IOUs. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Self-custody is the revolution. Learn how to hold your freedom money with confidence. Visit the Bitcoin Way and begin your journey towards Bitcoin sovereignty today. And if you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link in the show notes. You guys ever try to explain to your friends what happened in 1913 and why Ron Paul was right all along? And they just give you that blank, fluoride, enormous stare. Well, not anymore. Thanks to the Orange Pill app, you can stack friends who stack sats. It's the ultimate hub to connect with fellow Bitcoiners, find meetups, and discover every Bitcoin conference happening near you and across the country. Bitcoin is better with friends, and now you can zap them instantly all in one app. What are you waiting for? Download the Orange Pill app today and go hit a local meetup, and who knows? The connections you make could last a lifetime.
If we're in a sovereign debt crisis, and I think we are, and if we're going to have a lot of inflation, I think we do, and if we're going to go to have a monetary reset, there are going to be real winners and losers. And you're not going to get a do-over. You know, you're not going to get a do-over. It's not going to be like, oh, gosh, I missed it. Maybe I'll, I mean, it's like we could wake up one day and the government could say, we're going to a gold standard, we're taking the price of gold up to $20,000. Well, you either own gold and gold mining stocks or you don't. They're going to go up enormously. Same thing with Bitcoin. I mean, the U.S. could say we're going to do a strategic Bitcoin reserve and the Bitcoin price could triple. Well, if you don't have any, you don't benefit from that. So there will be, because of the risk of monetary debasement and the fact that there will be no do-over, I would just strongly encourage all of your listeners to have some allocation of their wealth into things that the government can't print. The government can't print gold, government can't print silver, government can't print Bitcoin, and the government can print dollars, and they're going to print a shitload of dollars, in my opinion.
You see why 88K Bitcoin isn't expensive? Larry Lepard says buckle up and trust the math. Gold is pumping, Bitcoin is thumping, and the system is cracking. And the average person is about to figure it out. We're headed toward the tipping point, where every pension fund, every family office, every sovereign wealth fund asks, do we want to hold melting fiat or the scarcest monetary asset on earth? And when that happens, it's not just a 400% rally, it's a new monetary era. And Bitcoin is going to eat the world.
All your models will be destroyed. Your political models, everything we learned over 10,000 years. When you're looking backwards, all these people, they want to look at time series of historic stuff. All I see is a bunch of statisticians analyzing people with chariots and bows and arrows and camels and elephants fighting in wars 3,000 years ago, and we show up with explosives and aircraft, and they're trying to back test their models and figure out how explosives and aircraft impact the way they organize their elephants. It's like all the models, they don't really make any sense anymore. If you understand Bitcoin, you realize you got to throw them all away. When Godzilla walks onto the playground, all your models are worthless. They're all going to be destroyed.
Godzilla doesn't play. Gold just broke all-time highs. Bitcoin is waking up and the fiat regime is running out of tricks. The Pope's gone, Klaus Schwab is gone, and Powell? Well, Trump wants to send him packing. And quick question, is J.D. Vance like that cat in Dr. Sleep? Asking for a friend. But nonetheless, the signal is screaming. Gold just told us a 400% Bitcoin rally is coming. Are you ready? You better be. And you better get tickets to the biggest Bitcoin conference on the planet. That's right, Bitcoin 2025 is just a month away. Bitcoin takes over Las Vegas, May 27th through the 29th at the Venetian. This event has been full of history throughout the years. Come be a part and come see the Simply Bitcoin team. We're going to be on site, so grab those tickets and don't forget to use promo code SIMPLY for 10% off. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pan by sharing the Sound Money Gospel. And don't forget to set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin delivered to you daily. I think we're going to have a wild week ahead of us. What do you think? I don't know. It just seems like every week's that way, so Why would we decouple on the weekly insanity? It's the norm. The hell am I talking about? Hey, I love you guys. Catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.